really good. Like James said, getting to hear from the people behind the product,
Yeah.
and kind of come forward and say, this is our technical roadmap for XM Cloud, and these are the pain points that we're going to address. And then kind of getting to sit there and say, hey, those are all the same pain points that we have, and getting you really excited for the future of the product.
Welcome, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Sitecore Water Cooler, the casual conversation podcast dedicated to covering all things related to Sitecore, including your product updates, implementation insights, getting the most out of your Sitecore investment, and more. I'm your co-host today, Maggie Burke, Sitecore Operations Director and Sitecore MVP at AmericanEagle.com. What a week. Again, I guess. Our team and Sitecore community alike are coming off of a week-long stint in Nashville, Tennessee, filled with keynotes, breakout sessions, networking, and fun events that wrapped up Sitecore Symposium 2024. It was a fantastic week with a big showing from our AmericanEagle.com team, and I'm joined today by some of our key team members to talk about some of our favorite moments from the trip and takeaways from the exciting conference last week. We are joined today by members of our architect team, James Gregory, Ahmed Akour, Alex Lentz, Tim Shanahan, Mohammed Sayem, Gaurav Agarwal, and Jared Arnofsky, who all had essential inputs in the successful conference last week. Gentlemen, again, welcome to the water cooler.
Thanks, Maggie. Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, interesting week, fantastic week, fun week, filled with lots and lots of events and different things that were going on. And obviously want to just talk about some of the key takeaways. There was clearly a lot going on. We got there, some of us got there bright and early on Monday morning for MVP Summit. And then it kind of carried into the rest of the week with Partner Connect, Sitecore Symposium itself, lots of, like I said, different events, dinners, things like that after. So definitely a fun-filled week. Wanted to start a little bit with MVP Summit. As I mentioned on our podcast previously, MVP Summit is kind of an event for people that were awarded Sitecore MVP for the year of 2024. And so it's a little bit more exclusive information, things that aren't necessarily released to the public yet. So again, we did sign NDAs, so we can't talk specifically too much about these sessions, but obviously want to hear from the team in terms of just kind of any cool takeaways. Jared, especially shout out to you with it being your first Sitecore MVP Summit. Anything that you could talk about in terms of just areas that you liked, key takeaways, anything like that?
Sure. So obviously, being my first one, just going was super cool. And it's like all these people, all these faces that are part of the community. And it was almost like real life, like LinkedIn. Where, like I'll look to my left and I'll see someone. I'll look to my right and I'll see someone. And just being able to like make connections in real life and talking to them, or talking about their blogs or their posts, or if I presented with their user group, like meeting them in person, that was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The summit itself, some cool stuff that happened. They went over some product roadmaps. They talked about new products like Sitecore Stream and what's happening in the new marketplace that's going to come out. But I thought the coolest thing was the CEO, Davo, and the rest of the executive leadership team was there in person. And for, I want to say at least 45 minutes, maybe longer, they just took our questions, like unfiltered, whatever we wanted to ask them. And they would, answer and have an open chat and communication with us. And I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely appreciated, right? To definitely hear from kind of the executive team and really, to your point, kind of have questions that they're not necessarily preparing themselves for to answer. They're allowing people to just kind of ask, and especially with it being, explicit to the MVP community and the people that they know are really contributing day in and day out to the Sitecore product itself. It was a nice additive bonus there. So that's for sure. I think another thing that I really enjoyed too was those roundtable sessions. I know they did that last year too, but I think it's just an interesting piece of it to not only obviously hear some of the keynotes that happened beforehand, not only from the executive team, but just kind of everybody else in different breakout sessions, but then also being able to actually have open discussions about it during the roundtables. So Gaurav, Mohammed, anything in terms of any of the specific roundtables that you went to or breakout sessions? Again, I know we can't talk too much about the breakout sessions, but anything that you guys had interesting tidbits on from MVP Summit?
Probably we can, talk a little bit about the sessions that we had during the MVP Summit.
Mm-hmm.
There was an interesting discussion about what's coming for XM and XP.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go into a lot of details, but there was a roadmap shared like in the symposium, but there was let's say another roadmap shared like during the MVP Summit, which is what's coming after the near future. Also, there was some sessions about the Sitecore publishing and how to enhance the Sitecore publishing and what coming as well on that. So these were really great sessions to attend and know where is Sitecore going and what is coming in the near future. So that were really amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So anything else, in terms of the event for MVP Summit itself that you guys found interesting or anything that we want to add in?
Yeah, actually, I had a number of good conversations with some of the product owners at Sitecore during the roundtable discussions, and we were able to give direct feedback of maybe things that we'd like added to the platform and hear their thoughts on them. And in some cases, they were saying, "Oh yeah, we're already building that," or and I'd be like, that's fantastic, awesome. Like, when's it coming out? So just kind of stuff like that was really great.
What's the timeline? That's always a project management question. So, no, that's great. It's very true. I feel like it makes it feel very collaborative and them wanting kind of open feedback from everybody and stuff. So that's why I think of everything, the roundtable discussions were some of my favorite pieces of the event. So very cool. Well, then later that night, we had the MVP event. Like I mentioned last year, there was axe throwing. This year, there were arcade games. I did not get a chance to face off against Gaurav during any arcade games or bowling for that matter, now that I think about it. But like I said, the next one I'll get you, Gaurav. I did see that you guys got a lot of prizes, though. There were bags of stuffed animals that came out of that. So anything interesting to note from the event itself? Any fun memories from that?
Yeah, actually, me, Mohammed, we played bowling, and I won it like with 100 points, I think. So he was super loser there. Yeah,
super
that was
loser.
an interesting thing.
Gaurav, you're very humble.
Amazing.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Was that the first time you guys ever bowled? No, right?
It's just like third or fourth time for me, but
Okay.
I was also newbie,
but won by 100
Yeah.
points. No big deal.
Experience.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's good. That's good. All right. Yeah. Well, again, very fun event. Always nice that, Sitecore really does kind of look out for the people that do contribute on a yearly basis just to, achieving that MVP award and kind of having that culmination of being able to celebrate that achievement is always nice. So now we'll kind of move into later in the week with Symposium itself. So kind of talking through with the team in terms of just sessions that you guys really liked. I know I can kick it off with just saying, there was a really inspiring keynote right away from Dave O'Flanagan, which was great. I did have to laugh because he made a very good comparison of kind of Music City to Nashville. And Alex and I actually recorded an interview that morning before he mentioned it. And I said something kind of similar to connecting those two. So if that clip ever comes out, just know that I swear I didn't steal it from Davo. It was just, but I thought it was really true that it's, again, just the fact that Symposium being in Nashville and being in Music City, that city's pretty much alive with just creativity and people trying to appeal to their audience. And there's a really strong parallel to Sitecore and kind of the tech world with that. But any other kind of exciting sessions, whether it was main stage ones or any breakout sessions or announcements that you guys want to touch on from the week?
So, I can start from the keynote that Dave, Sitecore CEO Dave introduced. He made sure that his first priority and his customers and listening to customers and how Sitecore will help customer achieve their goals by making sure that Sitecore offers the technology, the people, and the partner ecosystem. And he also made sure that Sitecore will provide the choice for the customers, either by using the on-premise solutions like XM XP or going to SaaS by using XM Cloud. Also, probably the innovation part of it with the Sitecore Stream coming. It's not a new product; it's just an add-on on top of the existing products. I have a lot of information to share about XM Cloud roadmaps, XM XP, and also a little bit of information about the Sitecore Marketplace. I will give the chance to my colleagues here to give some updates. But yeah, feel free to let me know. I can provide a lot of details. I have a lot of notes here, so
No, it's great.
I can provide. Yeah, I can give more details.
Yeah. You were a super attendee there, Mohammed. So yeah, no, that's great. And I mean, I also think too, the point that you made about, Dave really hitting on the fact that this isn't just something for people that are going to SaaS and going to XM Cloud, that this really is reiterating the fact that it's up to the customer to choose what path makes the most sense for them. So if they're staying with XMXP, this, doesn't take them out of the equation. This is, Sitecore is growing with them too, just as well as, those that do make the decision to go to SaaS. So do we want to touch maybe on just some of the interesting pieces from the XM Cloud roadmap specifically? And then maybe we can kind of go round robin to the team in terms of any updates for Sitecore Stream or anything specifically.
Yeah, of course. So Sitecore vision for XM Cloud is to be the leader in AI-driven modern digital experience.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting statistics has been shared on the roadmap for XM Cloud. Like we have 200 plus customers right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 1.3 billion weekly edge traffic and more than 19,000 deployments in Q1 for XM Cloud. Sitecore is really working hard to ship like new features with XM Cloud releases. Recently, I mean, and this was announced on the keynote. XM Cloud is HIPAA compliant right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was like recently updates on the publishing performance, the media library support for WebP formats, pages A/B testing, pages performance improvement. Some also features coming with the Sitecore forms like forms media library integrations, forms interactions, analytics, personalization enhancements, enhanced .NET Core rendering SDK, starter kits, and more developer documentations on getting started tutorials and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Some other items coming in the near future, like improved visual editing, design library, marketer dashboard, next gen publishing with instant publishing. Publishing will be super fast.
Which is music to everybody's ears, huh?
Exactly. Sitecore Marketplace also is coming. I think every one of us is looking forward to see how we can customize and extend XM Cloud, and I think Marketplace will be the solution for that. Also, there will be an enhanced developer experience with XM Cloud, freedom of choice for what front-end framework you choose, deployment flexibility, and much more items coming on the roadmap.
Great. Yeah, that's a rocket list of things that are coming with XM Cloud, which is always exciting. I want to go back quickly to the announcement about HIPAA compliance. I think that's huge, right? We obviously have a lot of healthcare clients even on our own and, just even in the Sitecore ecosystem itself. So was anybody else excited kind of to hear in terms of just that announcement?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge news for a lot of our healthcare clients. And to Mohammed's point too, one of the big takeaways here is like, Sitecore really sees pages as the future of XM Cloud, right? They're bringing a lot of those features like personalization, A/B testing, analytics, all of that stuff into pages to really drive their content authors through pages, right? They're trying to make the Sitecore editing experience a little more user-friendly.
Absolutely.
Get people out of Content Editor and out of Experience Editor.
Mm-hmm.
And one big announcement, they mentioned that in the near future, there will be like deprecating Experience Editor in XM Cloud. So if for any of our clients, we already have like making sure our clients are Pages Editor ready or Pages Builder. I think that's the new name for it. But for any client out there who is not yet on Pages, that this is a good time for you to like make sure all of your components and pages are compatible with the Pages Builder editor, because at some point they will be deprecating the Experience Editor, which is a good thing for everyone.
Definitely. I feel like, as we'll talk briefly about our sessions and stuff too, but I know one of the takeaways, was just the people that were actually seeing pages that, clients, either ours or Sitecore like, that were actually seeing demos of the Pages editor and things like that were very excited because they were like, wow, this just, it moves so fast and it's great and things like that. So I think that's, while it's, something that might be a little overwhelming that experience editor is going away if you're still on experience editor. It's also an exciting change because Pages is, to Alex's point, made to be more user friendly and things like that. So
yeah, and just to clarify, that's experience editor for XM Cloud.
Gotcha.
XMXP is still going to support experience editor, and they'll give plenty of notice ahead of time before they do. They're not just going to flip it off.
Right. It won't be a one-day thing. So that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, speaking of kind of our own sessions really quick, and I'll go back to any other kind of key ones that weren't our own sessions, but just speaking through our own sessions, you know, Tim and I had our own with Westfield Insurance, which shout out to Tim and team because that site went live earlier this week and it's beautiful and very performant. And I know the Westfield team is really happy with it. But Tim, anything specifically around our session that you want to kind of touch on, or just kind of key moments that you feel like were good memories from our session with Christian?
Yeah. So really, it was my first time there, and my first time speaking, obviously. We were fortunate enough to have our client come and speak with us up on stage on that panel session. So shout out to Christian. Thank you so much for doing that with us. I think our session was interesting because the audience got to see kind of that full journey that Westfield took, going from XP. Christian and you, Maggie, kind of explained where they started and where everything went with like the designs onto choosing, you know, what they wanted to do, if they wanted to stay on XP or if they wanted to make the jump to XM Cloud. So it was really cool for the audience to see that. And then we got a lot of good feedback after the session itself. We're able to talk to some people about that journey. So it was nice for Christian and myself and you to just be there and answer any questions that people had who were looking to go from XP to XM Cloud.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think another cool thing too was, you know, you had videos and actual demos to show, you know, again, going back to the Pages editor and things like that. And I think it was a lot of feedback that we got from people being able to actually see that and stuff was very cool. And I think one of the key pieces that you had mentioned even during it was that we were able to kind of give them, kind of going back to the MVP comment, you know, we were able to give feedback to the Sitecore team that we were working with during the project, and feedback on just like even little edits in the Pages editor experience that you guys were mentioning would get rolled out. So it was like, you know, they're definitely listening, hearing kind of instantaneous feedback. And then again, when those updates are made, it's not like you have to apply a bug fix or apply a hot fix or go through a Sitecore upgrade or anything like that. It gets just rolled out into the product, which I think is really cool. So yeah, no, that was great. Again, yes, shout out to Christian for joining us on stage, and shout out to the entire Westfield team. I think we might have convinced him to come on the podcast at some point. So maybe you guys can hear a little bit more from Tim, myself, and Christian on that journey, but very cool. I think another session as well. Jared, how did your session go with Rich in terms of just the talks about Sitecore search and that implementation?
I think it went really great. We had, Rich and myself went through one of our recent projects with Sitecore search, and you know, we had 6 sources, thousands of PDFs. I think it was 40 something languages. You know, and it was nice just to see people taking snapshots and stuff of like some of the code that we're putting out there. And then, you know, a line at the end and people like wanting to talk to us and, you know, asking, you know, my thoughts of, you know, X, Y, and Z and how it relates to search. So it's really nice to put that information out there and just like interact with people and see how they digest it.
Definitely. Definitely. And then James, I'll shout out to you really quick too. I know you guys had your panel session with Vercel. Anything interesting to kind of mention there?
So it's fun being able to talk to the people behind a solution, instead of just reading the documentation.
Yes.
So it's good to hear from the source of all they got going on over there at Vercel. And it's just great to be working with solutions where instead of starting from scratch, you've got everything ready to go. And so you can really jumpstart your projects.
Definitely. And then I know there were a few sessions from John, who wasn't able to join us today, but they, you know, did a great job on the main stage with United Airlines. I was kind of hoping they were going to walk out with Aviators. I don't know why that didn't happen, but I'll make that feedback for the next time. But no, they did a fantastic job. So shout out also to Charlie and Darius. Thank you guys for joining our team on stage there. And then the last one I wanted to mention too was Amit and Alex. You guys had quite a lot of buzz around your kind of Gen AI tool, both leading up to your session and then even more so after your session. I was able to attend and it was standing room only. So, shout out to you guys for that excitement. Anything specific from your session that you guys kind of want to mention?
Yeah, like we had a lot of great feedback from everyone who attended the session, and like later on tried to follow up with us, asking questions about what we're building. One thing I just wanted to note, there was a lot of confusion about like who built this.
Yes.
I think the name has to be like rebranded to something else, but the name Sitecore JS as Copilot gave the impression that this is something that Sitecore is building.
Yeah.
Which is like not true, but it's something we've been building internally. It came from really like the pain points from our clients that are trying to move from XP to XM Cloud. They're seeing all of these great benefits, no upgrades, no no maintenance on their like their hosting and infrastructure. So everyone's trying to get there, but there is this big hill that they're trying to climb. So we're trying to see like how we can utilize AI just to get you like closer to that point. It's not gonna it's not gonna be 100% like replacement, but like it will definitely help you get there. So we have a lot of ideas and like feedback from everyone, and we're trying to get this to a working state where like we can start using it on our projects. But Figma to code, code conversion, these are things that people really loved in the session.
Yeah, I mean, it was super exciting. And again, it may not, to your point, be like 100% like, oh, you just input it and then it builds you a whole new site. But it's going to definitely, do a lot of framework building and stuff too. But I will say there was some confusion around it being a Sitecore tool versus a tool that you guys built. So, again, this is something that you guys put time and effort into, and it's not just Sitecore agnostic. It's one of those things that can also be used with a lot of different platforms. So very exciting stuff, and definitely more to come on that piece as well. But I will say, just to the entire team, very proud of all of you guys. Like, honestly, just seeing like all of the different sessions that were done and things like that. I say it often that I work with the, best in the game, but it really is true. And last week really kind of shone the light on that, with being able to just see how you guys all executed your sessions so well, and even just being at the booth and things like that too. So great job to all of you on that front.
And just to add to that, I've been to Sitecore Symposium about 6 times, and I've attended a lot of sessions and breakout sessions. And I have to say, like, all of our sessions were very interesting. I like it wasn't boring. It was very like informative, and like a lot of like tips. I myself like learned a lot of like the other sessions that I went to. So thanks everyone.
Great job, team. Great job,
just
team.
Just the diversity of the sessions that we had too.
Agreed.
We covered such a wide variety of topics, so no matter what you're interested in, there was something for you to take away from it.
No, that's a great point. Very good point. Very good point. Great. Any other kind of key sessions or any feedback on the location? I mean, again, I'm biased. I love Nashville. I'm a big country music fan and stuff. But anything in terms of, because I feel some of the team has been to Nashville before. Some people, it was their first time. Any interesting tidbits on the location this year?
This was my first time in Nashville, and I loved it. Definitely, and it's a definitely different scene than I've used to in any other city. Like, it's like you go on the Wednesday and it's like full of like people like
right.
It's like, do these people like work?
Yeah, right. What's going on out here?
Is everyone in Symposium here?
Yeah, right. I turned the corner and Ahmed was wearing cowboy boots, and I was like, what's going on?
But definitely a great place. The convention center is very like, one of the most like, I think like one of the biggest hotels in the US, or might be the biggest non-casino hotels. But definitely like one of the best places that Sitecore held their Symposium.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the location of the convention center too. I mean, it was just far enough off of Broadway. Where that was nice. And then after Symposium, you could go to Broadway and enjoy that, and then get off of Broadway.
And not be in the mix of all the bustle of Broadway. So no, very good point. Very good point. Okay. Well, before we kind of move on from that, any other interesting sessions that people attended? Really quick, I'll give a shout out to Katie Ledecky. That session to me was very cool, just because, again, she's a multi-year Olympian, one of the most decorated female Olympians in the world, if not the most decorated. And I think it was just very cool to hear from, someone who's 27 years old and accomplished so much in their lives. And from an athletic standpoint, but then the connections that she was making just from a business standpoint and how it can kind of transpire, whether it's, again, the line that she said about take the lead, keep the lead, like, obviously like do what you can to kind of move forward, but keep that momentum going, as well as just kind of the inspiring connections between having the right coaches and mentors in your life to kind of move you through your career as well. I thought that it was really cool. Anytime that you can get somebody on stage that doesn't necessarily come from the tech world, but is able to make that kind of analogy and correlation to it, I think is always good. So that was, to me, a very good session. But any other sessions throughout the week, like I said, whether it was main stage or any of the breakout sessions that we want to hit on?
All of the technical XM Cloud sessions were really, really good. Like James said, getting to hear from the people behind the product, and kind of come forward and say, this is our technical roadmap for XM Cloud, and these are the pain points that we're going to address. And then kind of getting to sit there and say, hey, those are all the same pain points that we have, and getting you really excited for the future of the product.
Definitely.
So, I don't think there was one in particular, but there were
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point.
Along with that one, Alex, I did like how the XM Cloud roadmap kind of referenced like the multi-year plan of what they're going to be doing for XM Cloud, but then also they put in there kind of those, I don't want to call them small wins, but kind of more minor fixes that they can do to help out everyone editing within Pages right now. So particularly editing those complex field types, they're going to be adding that in hopefully before the end of the year. So that was really nice to hear from the XM Cloud team.
And that's a good point, because sometimes it's like, you kind of hear all these big announcements and these, great things that are on the long-term roadmap, but to be able to kind of hear some of the smaller wins and things like that are going to be addressed in the near future is always a good thing to add in there. So very good point.
And just big shout out to Liz Nilsson. She's the lead behind the XM Cloud now, and she's she had 3 sessions, and we most of us went to all of her sessions, and she just kind of explain the vision for or the roadmap for XM Cloud, all of the things that they're planning to do, and it just shows how much she listens to the community. And we have had a few calls with her before, just to kind of do a preview or early access to some of the Sitecore XM Cloud releases. But it's definitely something nice to see, a change in the Sitecore leadership.
For sure. And again, that kind of collaboration and getting that feedback in there. So no, that's extremely important.
I want to share another thing for platform DXP roadmap that is for legacy developer like us. So the good news is that Sitecore is going to continue support XPXM, and there was a lot being discussed in the future roadmap. They put up a slide with a commitment to support into 2032 and beyond. So they want XP to be their number one single tenant product for the market with easy integration into their cloud service. They also told about upcoming updates. They said they're going to release 10.2.2 and 10.3.2 as well. And they're also trying to provide a cloud migration tool to move from on-premise system to the cloud. And there will be a tool to help migrate your MVC code to headless pattern. But it will be interesting to see because in legacy XPXM, we have lots of customization. It will be interesting to see how that tool will help us. Yep. So that will be interesting to see in the future.
We have that tool, Gaurav. These guys built it.
We have that, yes.
Yes, but no, I hear you. So are there any other announcements that were made? We covered HIPAA compliance, Sitecore Stream's a big one. Any other announcements that kind of came out of last week that you guys are excited about?
Sitecore Marketplace is coming soon, Maggie. I mean, they announced it during the MVP Summit, and there was a roadmap session as well on it. It will be a solution for discovering, enabling, and managing apps, plugins, and extension, which will bring customization and extensibility to the Sitecore products. There will be different type of apps that can be hosted or can be added to the marketplace. We can have standalone and integrated apps, like DAM integrations, e-commerce catalog sync, hosting integration for logs and monitoring. There will be also another type called plugins, like media library integration with Pages or page speed performance or translation tools or options. There will also be accelerators like templates or OOTB components for the various industries and products. Sitecore will also provide like two or three examples that will be added to the marketplace as examples for the community. One of them will be AI component generator for XM Cloud. It will be nice to have AI integration within XM Cloud that help you create components just with couple statements like prompt engineering, or like couple of statements you add or ask AI to do for you. And another module will be like content transfer application. So we know how we need such functionality like move content or copy content or refresh content between environments. That will also be another module or app that Sitecore will offer with the marketplace. That's all what I have on Sitecore Marketplace. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
No, that's great. No, I mean, I think that's always exciting to kind of hear options in terms of extensions and things like that. Anybody else, in terms of just specifically with Sitecore Marketplace, like what you guys are most excited about there?
Just another opportunity to give back to the community too.
Yeah.
It's all community driven. So
which is great.
If you have a good idea and you want to implement something, you can build it for Marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a big thing that we've kind of touched on here is Sitecore really listening to like the developers and the developer experience, and this marketplace that's helping address some of those issues. Like originally it was like, don't touch the CM, like leave the CM alone in XM Cloud, and we're all used to making Sitecore customize it and do what we want to do with it, and it's great, and that's part of the reason why we like Sitecore so much. So like them, listening to us and helping drive this really just shows like how they're listening to us and, taking our feedback and really trying to make it a great product.
I think collaboration is a resounding theme here that we keep hitting on, which is good. So very cool. So I guess it's always exciting during like the sessions and things like that. One thing I also will call out is the awards that we won. So specifically, we won Experience Awards with two of our clients. So United Airlines, we won for best use of data to connect the experience, as well as Brady Corporation. We won with them for best commerce experience with their use of, Order Cloud. So obviously very exciting to win both of those. And then from a partner aspect, we actually won for the 2024 for the Americas the partner award for winner for excellence in practice development, which again is just a huge shout out to our team and just the efforts that everybody puts in and the collaboration that everybody does. I said it earlier, I've said it probably a million times on LinkedIn, but I definitely do work with the best in the game. And it's very exciting to kind of just day in, day out be surrounded by such smart individuals. It just keeps you motivated to keep, achieving as much as we possibly can when you're surrounded by people that are constantly doing that day in and day out. So always exciting. On a fun note, now we'll talk a little bit about some of the post-symposium stuff in terms of just events. So specifically talking about our event that was hosted at Chiefs on Broadway. So Eric Church's bar, the one that infamously Morgan Wallen threw the chair off the roof. No one threw a chair off the roof at our event, I will say that. But anybody have any cool memories from that? I will say that one very cool part for me was the whiskey pairings with the donuts. That was interesting. I looked at Ahmed at one point and he had a donut in his hand and I was like, where did you get a donut from? And then we walk outside and they literally had a whiskey and or bourbon and each one was paired with a specific donut. So that was enjoyed probably more times than it should have been, to be honest. But anybody else have any interesting memories from our event at Chiefs on Broadway?
There was a pig there, so I had a pig there with the American Eagle hat. So that was a good memory for me.
Yep, the light up cowboy hat. It didn't make it home with me. I think it made it home with you though, Grav, if I remember correctly when we were walking back to the airport, but mine didn't fit in my suitcase.
Yeah. I still had that, and I wear it always, in my airport and everywhere.
I don't know why you don't have it on right now.
Right,
I was
going to ask,
yeah,
why aren't you wearing it now?
Yeah, and just the location of it too. Getting to be up on the rooftop in downtown Nashville. It's such a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Getting to take all that in.
Yeah. And I think it was cool, just the attendees. It was definitely a mix of, different clients of ours, different Sitecore members, different partners, and things like that too. So it's obviously always enjoyable to celebrate an evening with that group as well. Specifically then talking the next night, Sitecore did their own event, and that was at a mix of bars that were downtown Nashville on Broadway. So anybody have any cool memories from that they want to share? I did hear rumors that Jason Aldean came out. I'm not going to let John live it down because when I said it to him, he was like, oh yeah, I heard that he was going to come out later. And I'm like, again, huge country fan here. I don't know how no one tells me these things. But that in itself is very cool. But again, those are always fun events just because it's everybody from the conference that gets to attend those. So anybody have any cool memories in terms of the event that Sitecore hosted?
I can confirm that was not a rumor.
Oh no, I know it's not a rumor now. I thought it was a rumor for a minute because I didn't see anybody post about it, but now I've seen a few posts on it. And again, like I said, not thrilled about it, but it is what it is.
You could listen to like different music on different levels too. Like it was like Blink-182 vibe, and then go up above is maybe country music. I feel like there was like a Dolly Parton person too.
Oh yeah, there was a Dolly Parton impersonator. Definitely. Yeah. No, that's a good point to make too, because I think I tell people that about Nashville all the time, that you don't necessarily have to be a country fan. You could like any kind of music. There's live music everywhere, and it's always great at every spot that you go into. So yeah, I think it was nice that, you know, you had the conference itself and things like that, but then getting to kind of experience Broadway and the Nashville flair. I definitely had some blazers with fringe on it, trying to, you know, get into the act and things like that. But those were always fun events.
And they brought the Nashville country flair into the conference too by having people live performance at the conference during breaks and stuff. And to your point, they're all absolutely incredible.
Phenomenal people. So yeah, no, that's very exciting. All right. So wrapping up here, obviously exciting week. We all had a ton of fun. Any hopes for the next conference on where it's going to be? I know that Sitecore hasn't officially announced anything. It might be every other year now that they do symposium. But in terms of location, anything from you guys in terms of hopes of where it might be?
I really hope it's Orlando going again.
Orlando or Vegas.
Yeah, I think those are two at the top of the list that we all keep hearing rumors about. And, you know, John endearingly calls me a Disney adult all the time, but I want it to be in Orlando. I think it'd be great. I mean, I also love Vegas too, so I would take either or. But yeah, I think that'll be exciting to once we kind of hear some updates from that front. Any kind of last memories or things like that? I think I heard a funny story about a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, Gaurav. Any intel there that you can share with us?
So me and Jared had the Nashville hot chicken. So everybody's saying it is very, very hot. So Jared tried the hot. I tried the extra hot. Although I keep saying this is not hot, but when I came hotel, I know how hot it was.
It's that later effect.
So that's a funny story. Yeah. So it was very fun though.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, just getting to I think it was Jared's point earlier, right? Getting to be with the people that we talk to on a daily basis, like actually in person, and then getting connected with our team members too.
Yes.
So the ones that we don't necessarily work with on a day-to-day basis, getting to spend a whole week with them.
Yeah.
Was just incredible.
No, I agree. I think that's the best part about some of these is, again, it's always cool to see people, to your point, that you're seeing on LinkedIn, Slack, whatever it is, and you're kind of putting faces to names or just seeing in person the faces that you're seeing on these platforms all the time. But then, yes, to your point, spending time with our team is always exciting too, because even though we all work together and we are, you know, collaborating on certain things, we're all spread across different projects, different, you know, initiatives and things like that. So actually being able to spend time with the team is always exciting. So, you know, I will say if there was anybody that did miss any of our sessions or anything like that last week, one of the exciting things that we'll be doing is we have a user group coming up at the end of November. So November 20th, mark it on your calendars. We'll have sessions from Jared talking a little bit more about Sitecore Search. These guys, Alex and Ahmed, are also going to be doing a little bit more of a deeper dive into that, you know, exciting AI tool that they built, as well as then we'll also be doing a roundtable with this group here, just in terms of, again, just fleshing out a little bit more about our key takeaways from Nashville, anything to look forward to of that nature, as well as our VP of our Sitecore practice, John Price, will be recording a podcast later this week with Dave O'Flanagan to talk a little bit more about just kind of key takeaways and things like that came from the conference. So many, many exciting things coming. And, you know, again, thank you guys to all of you guys for such a fun week. James, Alex, Ahmed, Tim, Mohammed, Gaurav, Jared, thank you all for joining us at the Water Cooler today. I look forward to collaborating with you guys in the future, and we hope to have you back on the Water Cooler again soon. Thanks for listening to the Sitecore Water Cooler Podcast. Find out more information about AmericanEagle.com's Sitecore services and today's topic in the description below. This episode is brought to you by AmericanEagle.com Studios. I'm your host, Maggie Burke, and special thanks to our executive producers, Renee Nelson, Julia Klepich, and Brian Winger.